We start tonight with the deaths of those Royal Anglian soldiers in Afghanistan. 3 were killed and 2 seriously injured in what appears to have been an incident of friendly fire.
The casualties are all from 1st Battalion, the Royal Anglian Regiment, many of whom are recruited in our region. It's believed they were killed when an American F-15 dropped a bomb near Kajaki in Helmand province. The soldiers were on patrol when it happened. Let's get the latest now from Alex Dunlop in Bury St Edmunds.
Well, Stuart, as you can see behind me, the regimental flag here at the regimental headquarters is flying at half-mast, a very sombre mood this evening. Now, close air support, as it's called, is usually a very highly effective way of getting British troops out of a tight corner, and it's certainly helped Allied troop lives in many instances. But the trouble with Helmand province is that the fighting is at such close quarters, hundreds of metres or tens of metres even, that it's usually a very highly risky manoeuvre, and clearly that's what happened last night with devastating consequences.
2 weeks ago to the day, Lance Corporal Alex Hawkins was buried in Norfolk. Within 24 hours, 2 more Anglians had been killed in southern Afghanistan. Until last night, these 6 soldiers were 1st Battalion's casualties of the war. This so-called friendly fire incident brings the death toll to 9 in just 4 months. The soldiers were on patrol when they came under intense fire from the Taleban. 2 American F-15 jets were called in to provide support. One of them made a tragic error and dropped a bomb at the scene. It killed the 3 Anglians and injured 2 more. Airstrikes are a vital support, but when fighting is at such close quarters, the risks to Allied forces are huge. We don't yet know who the soldiers are, but the incident happened near the Kajaki Dam. For the last month, B Company have been based here. Their role, to maintain security around the strategically important dam at the head of the Sangin Valley. Since 1990, 12 British service personnel have been killed by American friendly fire in Iraq. The pilot of this fighter mistakenly killed a British soldier 4 years ago. The Anglians recruit largely from the east of England. Their loss will be keenly felt by the whole battalion. They head for home in October, but for now the challenge is to maintain morale in what's been one of their toughest tours.
Now, I understand that F-15 fighters from the American Air Base at RAF Lakenheath, just a few miles away from here, are currently deployed in southern Afghanistan, but we have absolutely no idea at all whether they were involved in last night's incident. An investigation is already underway, but tonight 3 families are having to take in an appalling mistake, an appalling tragedy.
Alex, thank you. Well, Colonel Eddie Thorne was awarded the Military Cross when he was in Afghanistan. He's a former commanding officer of 1st Battalion, the Royal Anglians. I spoke to him late this afternoon and asked for his reaction to the killings.
You know, it's one thing being killed by the enemy, but you really do feel it hard when it's down to an error and it's your own people that have resulted in this. So I think we'll find, you know, it'll be a bitter pill to swallow, and people will be working hard. You know, the commanders will be working hard to get people's spirits back up, but we'll also find it's actually, you know, the friendship of the people around each other, the people who work together, cheek by jowl, literally in a lot of cases, you know, the comradeship built on being forged under fire, which will bring them through.
Does it make a difference in the relationship between the British and the American forces when something like this happens?
I think superficially, you know, people at the time will feel gutted, and there'll be this sort of, well, is it them? But actually, you know, we've done too much together over recent years for people to forget that. You know, there's been too many times when they have saved us. You know, the close air support on too many occasions has actually got people out of, you know, the deep mire and got them into positions where they've been able to escape and get back or to defeat the enemy.
The fact that close air support is needed, though, does that tell us something about the nature of the fighting?
In operating in those environments, you can't rely on tanks and artillery because they just cannot get into these types of locations. If you're up in the mountains or up in the rugged ground, you need to be able to call on something that's much more flexible, and that's what close air support provides.
And your thoughts tonight are with the families and friends of the men who've died?
The battalion's already lost a number of good men and officers, you know, or an officer and a number of men, many of whom I know and know well. And to lose more, yeah, it hurts, and I really feel for the families. I think, you know, very challenging when your, you know, sons are thousands of miles away and you can't do anything about it. But what they should rely on is the fact that they are with some very good friends and people who will, each of their sons will be looked after by the friends around them, and they'll be doing their damnedest to make sure everyone gets back as safe as they can.